and welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah, also known as the Clumsy Stitcher here on YouTube and over on Instagram as well. If you've watched my last video, you may remember that I said I was only going to film once a month and post a kind of monthly progress report. And to be honest, I think I'm about as surprised as you are that I am back here again this week. Basically, the response to my first video was so overwhelming that I just wanted to come back to YouTube for the week and say an enormous thank you to all of you who have watched. So many of you liked or commented or even subscribed, and I am still a bit in shock, to be honest with you. I wasn't expecting the response at all. I think because I didn't set any targets when I started, because this is more, the first video was more for me just to kind of channel some of my emotions about my projects and about the fabric colours. It was also kind of a trial to see if I'd even like filming and the editing process and all of that side of things as well. So it was just, I don't want to say it was a practice run, because obviously I posted it, but it was just more for me to get into the swing of things. And the fact that so many of you, you've all been so kind and you've been so willing to spend a bit of time with me, and I've just been so shocked and overwhelmed by it all. And I just wanted to say an enormous thank you, because it is really appreciated, and I am so grateful that there are people out there who, well, I feel like they're my kind of people, where they just want to talk about this stuff and like listening to this stuff. So yeah, I just want to say a huge thank you. I hope I can spend some more time with you in the future. I hope I can continue to entertain you all. And I really enjoyed engaging with your comments. So there have been so many fellow Avatar fans and Lord of the Rings fans, and so many people relating to being the clumsy one of the group. And it's just been genuinely lovely to see so many people relating and enjoying the video I put out. So yeah, just thank you so much. I also have to say two very specific thank yous. Firstly to Sian at Craft of 18 Creations. I messaged her the night before saying, I filmed something, I'm just feeling really nervous about putting it out. Do you have any advice? Or like, did you feel nervous as well? And she was so kind and she was so understanding, and basically was just like, go for it, the community is amazing. So thank you so much, Sian, for encouraging me. I really, really do appreciate it. And a second thank you to Shiloh at XStitchMD. I obviously mentioned her quite a lot last week. She's enabled a lot of my projects, but she's also shouted me out both on Instagram and YouTube, and a few of you have mentioned in your comments that you came over from watching her. So thank you to Shiloh for shouting me out on your channel. I really appreciate that as well. So as for this video now, I've decided that I am going to keep my monthly videos as my progress videos, so they'd be kind of the true Flosstubes with the works in progress, any finishes and any haul and plans, etc, etc. And then if I feel like filming in between, if I've got something to film, if I've got something to say, then I'll jump on kind of in between and just film something to put up as a Flosstube Extra almost. So I think probably by the title of the video you'll know that this one is going to be a parade of my previous finishes. I have a few, I have 3 framed, and then a few just FOs, so just finished objects. I think if I'm going to start with the framed ones, and I'm really hoping that there isn't going to be too much glare, but I am sat right opposite a window, so we will have to see. So the glare was really bad, unsurprisingly. If there is a massive lighting change, I apologise, but I've had to kind of close the curtain and cut everything together. So story time for this one. When I did this one, it was the most advanced project I think I'd done at that time. And I'm really sorry, I tried finding the chart details, but I'm not having any luck. And this was a present from my parents. So I'm not quite sure where it came from, I'm afraid. But I'll show you the project. It is quite long, and I didn't really think this through, so let's give it a go. There you go. So that's the long shot. I'll try and bring you in a bit closer. So I started with this blue one, because they all came as separate kits. So I got the blue one as a present, absolutely loved stitching it, and then found out that they were a set of 4. And I absolutely love sets of things. That's why I'm loving kind of seasonal stitching now. All the elemental stuff, like from Avatar again, all that kind of, any sets, like with the ink circles design, for example, the Circus of Diamonds, there's 4 of them, and I'm absolutely going to do all 4 of them because I'd love to have the whole set. So yeah, I started with this blue ballerina, and then I can't remember the order that I did them in, but there was also this green one. And the blue one. Sorry, I'm really not holding this very well, am I? But I think they look really good all together. So this was my first big project, and then we got it framed. Actually, I'll just tuck that on my shoulder. That will look really cool. I got it framed back in Penzance, where I'm from, at Morab Studio, if anybody knows it. They're really helpful there, and they're very friendly, so would always recommend. But I love the arch detail, and I really do love this project, and having it hanging now. And it's also a nice reminder. Because I just think back. So for example, I had the yellow, green and blue ones we've been able to find in the local craft shop in town. And I couldn't find this red one anywhere, and I was really disappointed because I really wanted the whole set. And then one day my dad surprised me with a little parcel because he managed to find the red ballerina on eBay, and he picked it up for me, and it was just such a touching gesture, and just looking at this project just reminds me of that. So it's just good, happy memories and all that. Let me just pop this down. So I've got to be perfectly honest with you. I just watched that clip of the ballerina's back to make sure I got the whole thing in the frame. And there's one moment where I just went full Edna mode from The Incredibles, and it was just like my nostrils over the top. So I apologise for that. But I hope you kind of get the idea of the project as a whole. So the next piece I'm going to show you, I've shared on my Instagram quite recently. It's a Dimensions kit called Dawn of a New Day, and I stitched it on with the kind of kitted fabric and floss, so it's on 14 count white Aida. This is the project itself. I absolutely love this piece. I think it's gorgeous. It hangs in we've got a little hallway, and it just hangs up there. But I just love all of the details. Like, you've got the little path, and it's like it's going down to the beach. The seagulls up here. I just absolutely love this. And I just love all the colours. There's nothing much more I can say. I just absolutely love it. So I got this framed at Moonshine Framing in Penzance as well. This was a really nice stitch as well, because all of the sky up here, it's all half stitches, and I think it just it gives it a really good effect, kind of to make it look like the clouds and the sky, whereas these are all full cross down here. Some fun little French knots up here as well, because Dimensions just love their French knots apparently. I think that was the first time I'd done French knots actually. I'll see if I can get some more. If I can zoom in on the detail a little bit. So you've got the daisies, and then see with the ships. Sorry, I can't get rid of that glare. Is that a bit better? There we go. And then the lighthouse actually is only half stitched, and then the rest of it is just blank. So the bands obviously are fully stitched, but then up here it's just grey shading, and then this is all just the fabric itself, which I think is a really nice effect as well. Yeah, that's Dawn of a New Day. And then the last project that I have in a frame is a Dimensions Gold kit called Aurora Cabin. It's stitched on 16 count grey cotton Aida with all of the floss provided in the kit. And this is it. Oh, sorry, there we go. Sorry, I don't think I'm going to be able to avoid the reflections. I do apologise. I do have a picture on my Instagram as well, though, if where I've managed to cut it out a fair bit. But I just absolutely love this project. Something I did not love for a start is, let's see if I can get in here and show you. I don't think you'll be able to tell, unfortunately, but all of the snow has shiny blending filament in it, and that was a nightmare. That thread was absolutely horrible. But the effect, thankfully, is, I think, worth it. But I had to keep putting this project down because I was getting so frustrated. And then at the end, I'd finished all the stitching. It took me about 5 years in total because I went off to uni and came back and worked on it every now and again. So all in all, it took me 5 years, and I finished all the stitching and I was so happy with how it looked. And then I had to do all of these French knots, and by the end I was like, I just need this bit in a frame now. I just cannot do this anymore. But I think the overall effect is absolutely fantastic. I am in love with this piece, and it just hangs in our hallway as well. I just think it's so clever with the details of the reflection and all of the ice just floating in there. It's just so clever. Designers are so clever. So the designer for this one, actually, I think she's Kim Norlian. And it's so impressive what they're able to do. So yeah, that's the end of my fully finished objects. Sorry about that, I just had to open the curtain again so we're not kept in the dark for the whole video. Now on to my finished objects. The first two pieces I'm going to show you are from, I got 99 Problems But a Stitch Ain't One by Genevieve Brading. They were just stitched from stash with 16 count Aida and essentially the thread colours that were nearest to me at the time, because I just quite liked the pattern itself. So I've done two, one for us and one for my sister. It just says wallet, phone, keys, and it's just a little reminder for as you go out the door to make sure you pat your pockets down and make sure you've got everything. So this one is the one for my sister. And what I'm going to do is a little wall hanging, because she's got one of those IKEA frames hanging by her door which have the little hooks on the bottom that she can just hang this on. She has asked for me to backstitch a little mask in here as well, though, so she remembers when she goes out. And then this one is ours. And I've got inspiration from Michelle, Mama Loves You GB Michelle, because she, with one of her Pantini designs, I think it is, she made a little basket with the pattern on the bottom, and then you've got like the walls, and she's put little poppers in to make the corners, and I just thought that was really smart. And it would basically just go, well, we've got a little table down there, and I think it would just sit quite nicely there and have everything laid out. Because I can never find my stuff when I need to go out of the house, so if I can just put it all in there, it'll save me a lot of faff. But I need to learn how to do both the wall hanging and this tray, so I just need to actually buckle down and get out the YouTube videos and figure it out and just do it, basically. So this one is an old one. This one I remember stitching on the train going home from university, so it must have been 8 years ago now. And this is a Dimensions kit called Belle's Ornament, a little Christmas bell. I think this is absolutely gorgeous. Again, the colours are just so rich in that ribbon. Backstitching was a pain, but I think the detail makes it look really really well put together. It did come, because it was an ornament kit, so it came with red felt, but I think it's quite big. Especially, well, our tree isn't massive, especially. So I don't know if I want to finish it in a little frame and just have it on a table or on the cupboard somewhere, or if I want to do a wall hanging. I haven't decided yet, so I need to figure out what I want to do with that and then just do it. The next one is another Christmassy one. This is one I've started and finished since doing my Instagram page. And this was one I was rushing to get it finished before December so that I could have it hanging in the house for Christmas. And I finished it, must have been the 27th or 28th of November, and I was so happy with myself. And then I just have not done anything with it since. I've ironed it for today, and that is literally all I've done. So this is the Looks Like Christmas by Shannon Christine Designs. I absolutely love it. I am so happy with it. I think the shading, first things first. I stitched this on a 28 count Lugana in the colour Mushroom with all the called for DMC. The shading in the letters, I think, is just, it's such a nice detail. I really, really genuinely love this, and I'm really cross with myself that I haven't done anything with it. So my idea for this one, I was going to channel Priscilla and Chelsea, the Real Housewives of Cross Stitch, and to match the presents, I was going to do red gingham around the outside, so have this stuck onto a red gingham board, and then have that red gingham board on some slatted wood, and just have that hanging. But she didn't do it. No excuse really, well, apart from the fact that obviously December's a busy month anyway, but didn't even try and get this done. So Christmas 2021, this will be hanging in the house. I am 100% determined. And then the next piece, this is a design by Peppermint Purple. This is their Inclusive Pride, which I just stitched from stash again, 16 count Ada with the best colours I thought that I already had. This was my first ever blackwork piece, and I am 100% going to stitch this again. I love the design. This was actually, I'm doing this as a present for my sister as well, but I really want one for our house. Because in our house, love is love, and I just really want to have something to show that, basically. I haven't decided how I'm finishing it yet for my sister. I wasn't sure whether to do a flat fold or a wall hanging or a cushion, a little pillow. It may just depend on how I'm feeling at the time and whether I want to learn how to make a cushion. But I do have a sewing machine. Like, I don't know if you've been seeing, but I serge, or I like do all the edges of the of my own fabric. It's just it's my mum's old machine that she gave me when she got a new one. So I could do a pillow if I felt inclined. We shall see. And then the last finish is one that a lot of people have done. This is the Hello Dear Tree by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. I stitched this on 28 count even weave with the called for DMC. I got the kit actually in the end, to be honest. I did make a few changes. Let me just hold my pattern up and show you. So I changed the colour of the squirrel. I think he was supposed to be this brown, but I wanted him to stand out a little bit more, so I've just changed that to, it's one of 434, 435 or 436. I'm sorry, I can't remember off the top of my head. And then in the bunny, her belly was supposed to be that pink colour, but I wanted it to be white, and then I changed the colour of the tail as well. And then in the deer, I just changed the colour of the face. But these two are just with the threads that were already in there. The presents as well, I kept all the same colours, but I just changed them around. And then this is my final. So for this one, in Evelyn's video, Evelyn Across the Pond, she showed her finish of this with, she just kind of backed it and then put pom-poms all around the outside. And I thought it looked so adorable. But because I want to do all four, I don't know whether to wait until I've done all four and finish them all together or do them one by one. I also don't even know how I want to display this actually. Now I'm talking about this, I have no plans. I don't know if I want it standing out all the time or if I'm going to switch them out seasonally. I don't know, I will switch them out, I think. But it's whether or not I want to just frame it myself and just have it hanging, or like Evelyn did, have it on an easel in one of the rooms. But I do really like how that turned out. So that's all my finishes. The other thing I was just going to talk about very quickly was, in my first video I talked about Annie's keepers and how I just started using them. I forgot to include a link of where I got them from, so I will definitely include that in the description box below, but I thought also I would just go through how I'm using them, kind of based on how I've seen other people use them, but also on how I think it best serves me and my storage availability at the moment. We just live in an apartment, so we don't have that much room. And so just being able to tuck everything away makes things a lot easier. I bought the starter pack from Lakeside Needlecraft, where you get, I think it's 30 of the actual keepers. So these are the little plastic tags are the Annie's keepers. And I don't know if you can see, there's a ridge up the top here. And they tuck in. So in the starter pack, you get 4 of these project slides. And basically, these, where the little divot is, just slides on to the end of the project slide. So I'm just going to kind of demonstrate it a bit, I guess. If you're interested, then please keep watching. If not, then I don't mind. My current storage is just like floss away bags, and I hold them on a big ring. But I don't really, when I'm doing a project, I don't know where to keep them, and then when I haven't been putting them back, basically. So I've just at the moment got my thread number, and then I've got my thread in the bag. But like I said before, it's a bit of a pain pulling the thread out, separating a strand, and then separating one thread from that. So I'm just going to take one of my bags off. In the starter pack, you also get a list, a sheet of little round stickers. And basically, so this is colour 335. So I've just written 335 on a sticker. Taking that off, putting that so that the divot's at the top, and then taking my thread out of my bag, untangling. And then all you do is just, that's got caught there, there we go. Post it through the hole, and then just like, I don't know if you can see, just like pull it through. And so it just hangs like that. And then that just goes on the slide. And so if you needed that colour for a project, you would just pop it out of the slide, put it onto a ring, like I've done for my perennial pinwheels. So I've just popped them on a ring with all of the different keepers with all of the colours. And then when you're done with your project, you can either slide it back on, or depending, because obviously I haven't got very many on project slides at the moment, because I've used them for current whips, which means I haven't actually got that many keepers left to store the rest of the floss that isn't being used. But it means you could either slide it back on, or if you've got it in colour order, for example, or colour family, instead of sliding it back on, so you don't have to slide them all off and slide them all on again, I think you can just kind of tuck it in again, so it hangs like that. So I'm really liking the idea of them, and I'm really liking them in practice as well, because when I need a colour, so for example, if I just needed a strand of this purple, I'm not having to take it on and off. If I just get a needle very quickly. Sorry, I should have been more prepared, really. So I just get this bit of purple, just find a thread, and then just pull it off. And then that just kind of stays on like that and I don't need to do anything with it at all. I just pull it off and then I'm ready to sew. So I am really enjoying the ease, especially because the perennial pinwheels, it's very much a design I'm picking up and putting down at the moment. Like if I've got 10 minutes on a lunch break or something, I'm just using it for that. So I'm really loving using it for that project. And as soon as I have more and sort out the rest of my floss stash, I can actually get them on the slides and fully, I don't even know how if I'm gonna do it by colours yet or if I'm gonna do it by numbers. My organisational side of my brain hasn't quite figured it out yet. Unfortunately, they're all out of stock at Lakeside Needlecraft, which seems to happen quite regularly. I don't think they ship across from the US very often. So hopefully they'll be back in stock soon and I can order some more. I'll definitely order a bigger bundle next time. So something really great that has come out of starting my own floss tube is that I found a few more British stitchers, which is always fun. I just wanted to give them a quick shout out because I've really enjoyed watching their videos the last couple of weeks. So firstly is Lauren, whose channel name is Flossabilities. I've actually spoken to her a little bit on Instagram before because she does a lot of full coverage pieces. We were kind of talking about pain-free crafts especially. And it was really great to find her on YouTube and watch her videos and see her pieces live and in real life, I guess. Another is Angela, who's the Stitching Brit. She also does a lot of full coverage pieces and they're all absolutely gorgeous. She was a real treat to watch this week. And lastly is Jo, who is Belushi Stitches, another person who does a lot of full coverage. I think I'm on like a full coverage hype or something at the moment, I guess. But she's done a few floss tubes before. But this was her first one in front of the camera, and so she did a little introduction as well. And so it was really good to see who she is and all the projects that she's working on. So I have been really enjoying watching more British stitchers as well as all of those across the pond, as you say. If you know of any more people who you watch who you think I might like, then please just let me know as well. I would say you can never have enough floss tube, but I am still catching up on like 2 weeks of videos, so I'll try and squeeze them in hopefully. Thank you for sticking with me in this quite unplanned video. I hope it has come off okay. I hope you've enjoyed seeing my previous finishes. If you have any ideas on how I could finish something, then please let me know. Please hold me accountable if you don't see any fully finished objects in the next 3 or 4 months, because I really will deserve a proper telling off if I haven't done anything by the summertime. That being said, I hope to see you again in a couple of weeks with a full progress update. I have been able to get quite a lot of stitching in the last couple of weeks, so I hope I'll have a big update video for you then. But thanks again for watching. Thanks again for engaging with my first video. It has been such a pleasure, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Bye.